Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 in Crossing in the Woods. Our heroes today are going to be Helpinghans, playing for the Germans, and his opponent is going to be StoBez, playing for the Germans in the red. Now, while the game gets underway, I have to publicly say that I have a personal beef with Helpinghans. And that is that he always builds so many units that he breaks my overlays. So this game, the submitter is actually StoBez. Yeah, uploaded the replay, and I would have done it in his point of view. But Helpinghans makes so many units all the time that he breaks my overlay. So I'm gonna have to watch it from Helpinghans' perspective. But well, hopefully it'll still be the same. But yeah. Come on, dude. Just quit it. Stop being so good. Okay, so anyways, we see that Helpinghans went for his tier 1, by default, like you would expect, getting himself 2 Grenadier squads, one coming out right now, the other one already heading out to the far right-hand side to capture that fuel, while the other one is apparently going to capture this point to connect at the same time. Very nice. StoBez, for his part, going with no tech, as you would normally expect, getting conscripts. 2 conscripts already out. We have 1 conscript up here. We had another, there's a combat engineer, sorry. The other conscript is down south. And a third one being produced right now. Third grenadier also being produced for Helpinghans, so not bad. And the Pios in the center, trying to lay down some barbed wire, cut off the approach here for StoBez. However, conscripts do catch those Pios while they're building the wire, and StoBez is able to push them away. On the right-hand side, however, the combat engineer Sarge is getting mauled here by 2 grenadier squads at the same time, down to 1 man on the retreat. Barely makes it out of there. Second conscript squad moves in to get a nice little flank there on the Gren squad, forces the Gren squad to move themselves around the car to get better cover. Nice little move there by Helpinghans. And the conscripts decide to disengage as they are currently facing 2 Grens, and they will, well, never win that, right? Third conscript squad on the field, heading over to the left-hand side. Center squad still used to capture the point, while the other one decided to go all the way up north. It is going to run into a Gren squad and a Pio squad. The Pio squad going to close the distance, increase the damage output, while the Grens just, well, manhandle the conscripts, forcing them away. Second Grenadier squad in the way, taking some shots as they retreat. They'll make it out of there just fine, but it'll add a little bit of extra damage in there. And another conscript squad in heavy cover, getting some shots in on those Grens who are currently just taking light cover in the brush. We see the Pios and another Gren squad moving into the left-hand side to get a flank on this conscript squad. However, the conscript squad Ura's away and is going to make it to somewhere else. Conscripts on the left-hand side capturing that munitions. We see a 4th Gren squad coming into the field for Helpinghans. So, like I said, he likes to build a lot of infantry and break my overlays. Gren squad in the makeshift trench there, or sandbag bunker, whatever. Conscripts pushing forward, getting right on top of them, forcing them away as they are down to 2 men. Right-hand side, we hear another engagement. A conscript squad engaging against Grens. Conscripts are in heavy cover, so they have the advantage here. Grens are down to 2 men over here, but another squad moves into support. Conscripts now down to 4 men themselves. They are taking some damage, however, they are in heavy cover. Gren squad on the right-hand side, down to 1 man, might actually die, forced to retreat. Conscripts down to 2 men. Second conscript squad moves in to reinforce. Grens decide to disengage and cross themselves and move themselves across the river. Conscript squad at 2 men stays in the field, and the conscript squad at full strength is going to push up. Conscript squad up in the north, down to 1 man, forced to retreat. The Grens are unable to stop and shoot at them as the conscript squad is pursuing them, so they are going to be able to make it out of there just fine. Left-hand side, we see some Pios capturing, while at the same time we have combat engineers capturing the far left-hand side fuel. Tech-wise, not sure what is being built for StoBez, maybe Molotovs and medics and things like that. Conscripts on the left-hand side get right on top of the Pios. The Pios do manage to inflict some damage on them as they close the distance. However, they should not be as effective as they were, where they just, massacre conscripts at close range. They did inflict a decent amount of damage, but they ended up losing the engagement. Right-hand side, 2 Gren squads, 1 already damaged. Moving in, going to be running into the 2-man conscript squad. This one needs to retreat right away. There it goes. Nice reaction there by StoBez, and he makes it out. Commander-wise, I should say, StoBez went directly for the Guard Rifle Combined Arms Tactics Commander, so it looks like he has some type of strategy in mind. He is also building something somewhere. What is he building? Ooh, mines. There we go. Mines getting laid down for StoBez right there in the water. Very nice. And he gets himself a Guard squad. Bit of a preemptive guard squad. Not entirely sure I agree with it, as there are no vehicles for it to fight. And it's not really that great as you know, against infantry, so I don't know. I don't think I like that, but it's still, you know, it's a squad. Grenades are quite effective, so they're, you know, another option. And the DP light machine gun, if they get upgraded, you know, provide a decent amount of fire support. So they're not horrible. It's just you usually want to see the guards because you want to counter some light vehicles. Grenadiers getting Molotov forced across the river, getting shot at by infantry in all directions. They lose one of their men in the process. One of their men in the process. Second Grenadier squad moves into support. Conscripts and combat engineers taking a little bit of heavy cover there by the tank traps. Pioneer squad moves itself away while a Grenadier squad stays in the center. It is on the wrong side of the heavy cover, however, so the combat engineers actually managed to inflict a decent amount of damage to them and kill one of the men. Right-hand side, the Grenadiers still engaging. We have 3 Grenadiers across the river engaging against the guard squad and a conscript. The conscripts decide to hit the dirt while they are in the brush, giving themselves slight cover, essentially. Well, actually, exactly. Hit the dirt is no longer what it once was, where it provided a 50% received accuracy buff. Or debuff, I don't know, whatever. You know, it made them harder to hit. Down to 1 man, forced to retreat, barely makes it out of there. Guard squad opening up with the PTRS rifles. PTRS rifles really unable to do much damage to the infantry. Nice little flashy splashes there of damage, but doesn't actually hurt much. Battle phase 1 getting produced for Helpinghans. Left-hand side, combat engineers capturing, while conscripts move in for a nice little flank there, setting themselves in nice heavy cover on the truck, getting an angle on those grents, forcing away 1 squad down to 3 men. The other squads decide to backpedal and get themselves away. Pioneers and grents moving into support. Conscripts crossing the river. Guard rifle squad are going to be moved over to the right-hand side, it looks like, while these conscripts are Uraing forward to get themselves onto that fuel, it looks like. And yeah, both players are just currently sitting still with their current armies, not producing too much else. Grenadiers laying into these conscripts as they cross out in the open. Conscripts using hit the dirt to get themselves cover completely, because keep in mind that the cover, even though your squad sometimes says it isn't cover, some units are actually standing outside of the cover, which means they die a lot quicker. Hit the dirt gives it to everybody, so that means that the defense is a little bit more reliable. However, while they are just sitting there in the dirt, they are getting shot at by an LMG, and the LMG is just ripping them to shreds, so it forces away both conscripts. Left-hand side, combat engineers go all the way up to the front of the base and manage to decap that strategic point, while a conscript squad on the right-hand side is trying to decap this point, but it's getting slaughtered. Does throw a nice Molotov on that Grand Squad. Grand Squad takes a little bit of damage, but stays alive. And on the far right-hand side, the guard rifles are trying to capture that fuel. They are very low in health and numbers. Or actually, they're quite healthy for a 3-man squad, I should say. So not really low in health, but low in numbers, regardless. And with 4 Grand Squads, then we can see over here on the left-hand side, barreling down towards them. Those guards are going to need to get out of there very fast. This Grenadier squad will be able to intercept. LMG will inflict some damage. And the guards need to get away. There they go. They hit retreat. They should be able to make it out. They might lose some. Yeah, one of them goes down. LMG opens up at a distance. LMG is far better at a distance, so they need to be careful. But they make it out alive. They do have more armor than conscripts and health, so yeah, they're fine. Far left-hand side, Grants being used to capture. Center map, Pios capturing territory. And back at base, we see Tier 2 going down for StoBez. Let's see if he actually builds anything from that, or if he is just using it as a stepping stone for an additional tech path. Tier 2, Tier 3 is quite a solid play, but we'll see. Conscripts pushing to the center, capturing the victory point once again. Then Ura passed and go all the way. We have PPSHs equipped on this conscript squad. It is the only one so far, so it's the more aggressive of the pack. PPSHs open up on the Grents as they approach. The Grents, however, will be able to just rifle nade them as they are currently in the ground. Rifle nade getting set up. No, actually the conscript's just sitting there. No rifle nade. There we go. Rifle nade getting called in. Shoots, flies, and does a lot of damage. Hits them down to 3 men, forces the retreat. Conscript squad moving in to relieve them. We'll see if they're getting upgraded with PPSHs as they move forward. They are not currently getting any. And MG-42 now on the field for Helpinghans manages to stop the conscript squad as they approach. denying them the ability to hit the dirt. Nice Molotov right on top of the Grand Squad as 2 more conscript squads move into the fray. This conscript squad is still unsuppressed, so it might be able to hit the dirt. And there it goes. Hit the dirt gets activated as they put themselves in the zone. Remember that hit the dirt has the, besides giving you light cover, also has the ability to be immune to suppression. Now, if you get suppressed, however, you cannot hit the dirt to break the suppression. You have to hit the dirt before the suppression goes off, so it's a very time-dependent ability, but it's very nice. Again, it was all the rage back in the beta and in the early games, early days of the game, when it provided a lot more of a defense because it was a 50% accuracy received modifier, and it's stacked. So if you put something in heavy cover and then hit the dirt, they were pretty much invincible. They would just not die. It was kind of funny, but yeah. MG42 stopping the guard squad as they move forward, forcing them to retreat. Interesting. So we see tier 4. So tier 2, tier 4. A lot of anti-tank capabilities going to be available here for StoBez. Not a lot of anti-infantry though. Well, I mean, never mind. I mean, you do have mortars and maximum machine guns, and you do have the SU-76 barrage ability. It is sad that the primary shot is not anti-infantry, but well, I mean, it would be a little bit too OP if it was. Conscripts trying to capture the point over here, getting shot at by Grens. They are in heavy cover, but they have PPSHs, so they are unable to really inflict any damage to the Grens, as, well, PPSHs only work at close range, essentially. And we see Grens just crossing all over the river on every point, just capturing territory. Tier 3, already down for Helpinghans. He's getting himself a Stug. Interesting choice. It is, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they did change the Stug in the way that it works, I believe, so I think it might actually be better against infantry than it once was. I'm going to try to see if I can find that information while this fight goes on. We do see a conscript squad putting the hurt there on that Grand Squad, forcing it down to 1 man, getting it out of the field. It is hitting the dirt, however, giving it some nice cover against the Grens. Conscripts just Ura across the battlefield. We see on the right-hand side a Molotov landing on the MG42, forcing it away as the conscripts just break the lines and the Grens are forced to retreat and move out of the way. Grand Squad still trying to hold the line against a 5-man now, conscript squad, but it is having a little bit of a tough time. The conscripts decide to disengage, and there they go. So let's take a quick read at the changes as the Stug moves into position. It says, Stug 3G fulfills the role of assault gun. These changes make it more effective versus infantry and slightly worse versus medium and heavy vehicles. Relative to the T-34, the Stug 3G provides extremely high damage output but is fairly vulnerable to being flanked. Okay, so they did make it a little bit more effective against infantry. So that's not bad. Not bad that he's using it. So wonder if it's more effective than the Panzer IV. That said, compared to the Panther IV does perform better. Let's see. Panzer IV that says will continue to dominate the T-34 in anti-armor role, but will perform worse versus infantry. So yeah, so it looks like this is going to be... Let's see, what is going to be the changes? Oh, nice rifle there on the guard squad. Forces it away and actually destroys the truck. Down to 1 man, barely makes it out. Almost actually lost that. SU-76 on the field for StoBez. Interesting choice. Barrage ability coming down on top of the point. Ooh, nice hit. Nails one of those grenadiers. Oh, very nice shot. Nails 2 more grenadiers. Down to 1 man. That grenadier is not going to be able to cap. And very nice first... Oh, that was very close. Wow, that actually was surprisingly effective. Conscripts pushing forward. Actually, no, it's just running forward. Running away, really. Into a grand line of sight, and the Stug does actually have 1 kill, so I guess it's better already. But yeah, let's see. Stug G... less armor, less penetration, less health, faster reload, kinda. Distance scatter, less scatter, and less cost. Okay, so that's why. So it got nerfed in most of its values, but its scatter got reduced, so I guess that's what makes it better against infantry. Let's see the SU-76. Did it actually get changed in any way? The AoE profile has been improved for some of its barrage, making it better suited at indirect fire versus stationary targets. Less armor, more penetration, more damage, reload, higher reload, so it takes, shoots slower. No minimum range, as it used to have a 5 minimum range. Less scatter. And higher cost. Okay, interesting. I mean, they did rebalance also. If you just look at it at a vacuum, it looks like it was a nerf to the SU-76 because they reduced its armor and made it more costly. They increased the cost and such, but every vehicle got changed, so it's not really, that, oh my god, it's useless now because, well, everything else got changed accordingly, so. Nice little barrage here from the SU-76 once again. Hitting anything? No, not really hitting anything. The conscripts push forward, getting nailed at there by the Stug. So the Stug actually now showing its colors, where it does actually do damage to infantry and getting some kills. Not a lot though. I mean, it's no Flak Panzer or Broom Bar or anything like that, but it's more multi-purpose. Because let's see, the Stug costs how much? We said. Well, we can actually check right here. The Stug, ooh, another Stug getting produced here for Helpinghans, very nice. Guard squad losing their their heavy cover there. The truck's just flying in a different direction. Opening up on the infantry and maybe getting some damage on the Stug, not really, but yeah. Conscripts on the right-hand side getting in for a flank. On the left-hand side, we see a lot of infantry there for Helpinghans just sitting around, capping 1 point altogether. Could split up and capture multiple territories. Nice Molotov landing right there for StoBez. Grenadiers are forced to retreat. Pioneers are nearby to repair the Stug, but they're not really able to provide support on the fight. And the MG42, really unable to shoot at anything, gets flanked there by the conscripts and Molotov, getting burnt alive, loses its man, and barely makes it out of there alive. Yeah, anyways, let me look back up. Oh, anyways, yeah, I could look at it right here. So yeah, the Stug is 80 fuel, 230 manpower, and the Panzer IV is 115 fuel, 320 manpower. So, fuel-wise, it is more viable to utilize these guys. Buttoning going down on the Stug. The Stug really unable to move. Oh, nice damage there from the SU-85. SU-85 on the field for StoBez. Gets a nice shot there on the Stug. The second Stug getting some side shots there on the SU-76. The SU-76 moving, trying to hunt down that Stug. The SU-85 turns its sights on the other Stug. The Stug takes a shot and moves away, but both Stugs actually make it out of there alive. I should put more attention to the game rather than what's going on, but yeah. Stugs backing off, taking a lot of damage. The SU-85 crosses the river. Nice barrages there by the SU-76. The SU-76 staying alive with not staying alive, sorry, staying alive from these Stugs by getting some kills, up to 6 kills now. Barrage forces away the MG42. Grand Squad, however, moves in and gets a Faust off on that SU-85. The SU-85 is forced to back off. We do have an abandoned MG42 right there, and the Guard Squad jumps into the shed. That shed has a surprising amount of windows. Not looking in the best angle, however, but yeah, I mean, it allows them to shoot in multiple directions, so that's fine. Far left-hand side, Grand Squad capturing the fuel, as we see some conscripts moving in that direction. Veteran C3 conscripts already for StoBez. And not bad at all. SU-85 backing off as it's still damaged. SU-76 here for support. Still damaged. He does have a combat engineer squad, but I don't know where it is. It is over here, moving in that direction now. Grens, Pios recapturing the MG42. Stug now fully repaired, moving back out. This Stug over here is still damaged. Right hand side, conscripts captured the fuel and moved back. We have conscripts just sitting across the river. Nice barrage from the SU-76. Hits and kills 2 men on that Grand Squad. Second shot flies and moves a little bit wide, so not going to be hitting much. Excuse me. Oh, that was bad. SU-76. It's now up to 9 kills. Veteran C1 already acquired. Very nice. MG42 moves over to the right-hand side. The conscripts are forced to retreat as the Stug moves in and, well, peppers them with big bullets. And the conscripts are trying to get in range of that MG42. They managed to actually kill the gunner and getting range for a Molotov. Molotov lands. The MG42 going to be dying. Getting packed up, gonna try to run away. Can he make it out? It's gonna make it out. Very nice. Second Stug moves into support, getting some shots across the river. Grenadier squad across the river, getting some shots into those conscripts as well. Far left-hand side, those conscripts did manage to push away whatever Grand Squad was around, and they are capturing the victory points. Victory points are 274 for StoBez, 415 for Helpinghans. Helpinghans, as you can see now, has a lot of troops. He decides to back tech to tier 2 and get himself some pack guns. The pack gun is somewhere, but I don't know where it is. There it is. Already up in the battlefield, so that keeps the Su-85 at bay. The Su-76 might be able to decrew it, but it needs to be a little bit careful. Su-76 does have a lot of range, however, managing to get some shots in on that Stug. However, the Stug destroys a guard squad, and they drop their PTRS rifle. And was that a DP light machine gun or 2 PTRS rifles? Oh, whoa. Nasty shots flying there. Those are 2 PTRS rifles. Wow. That's a nice Grenadier squad. Artillery barrage going down from the Su-76. Now it has Veteran C2. Very nice. Veteran C2 provides it damage output and accuracy. Pack gun moving back forward. Stugs behind the pack gun. Grens with the PTRS retreating. Conscripts pushing forward, hitting the dirt right in front of everything, providing them that defensive bonus, but you know they are sitting targets. Conscripts Ura forward, trying to get right on top of that pack gun. The pack gun will get decrewed, although it's actually not dying just yet. The conscripts are a little bit far behind. They're chasing it down. Grenadier squad is in the way. We'll be able to get some damage in on those conscripts. The conscripts are down to 3 men. The second squad is down to 2 men itself. Both squads are forced to retreat. Su-85 pushes forward, getting some shots in on the infantry, not really getting some shots in on the Stug, and it's still at about half health, so it's forced to back off once again. Su-76, barrage going off, getting right on top of the Stug. The Stug not really caring. Shots fly a little bit wide. Su-76 forced to cancel, getting a shot off on that Stug. Nice rear armor hit there on the Stug from the Su-85. The Su-76 continues to shoot, but unable to get any damage, and the conscripts are forced to back off. So you can see here clearly that the Stugs are a lot better than they were against infantry. I mean, this already has 14 infantry kills, and this guy is up to 11 infantry kills. When have you seen Stugs do that much damage into infantry? In the previous patches, never. Stugs were essentially useless. They were very good against vehicles, but that's about it. And, you know, Panzer IVs would probably be a little bit more effective than they were. So, yeah, very nice to see those. So, we're probably going to be seeing a lot more Stugs being utilized. Left-hand side, combat engineers capturing the victory points, as the victory points are down to 274 for Helpinghans and 317 for StoBez. Helpinghans repairing his Stugs. We see another Su-85 on the field for StoBez, so he now has 2. He needs to repair this guy over here, but he will be able to very quickly kill the Stugs if they get themselves out of position. However, the pack gun is really the primary threat. Su-76 can deal with that, however, but needs a little bit of coordination. MG bunker getting placed here on the flank for Helpinghans. Nice little decision there, because this covers his flank completely. It's not really meant to defend the victory point, even though it can. Like otherwise, he would have just like placed it right here if he wanted to stop the victory point. But he puts it in this angle so that no infantry can come in and flank this approach, because he has pretty much all his troops on the right-hand side. This is where his line is, so he's protecting that flank. Very nice. Of course, I may be talking bullshit, and he was just thinking about keeping that point in his possession, but I would wager that that's not the case. Conscripts hitting the dirt on the victory point as StoBez is trying to get a little bit of damage in there. We see a strafing run here by the IL-2, but doesn't really do much. Gets a little bit of damage in on that Stug, but the conscript squad ends up dying, and it doesn't even decap the point, so it's unfortunate there for StoBez. Left-hand side, Su-85 getting some shots in on that bunker, destroys it. We see a Stug move in to try to get some side shots on that Su-85. The Su-85 decides to ignore the Stug that is shooting at him fruitlessly and continues to shoot at the Pios. And the Stug did not actually manage to hit anything. Grant's pushing across the river, getting some damage in there. Not damage, some caps on the munitions. Su-85 decides to put itself a little bit too close to those Grens, gonna be getting Fausted and essentially killed here. I don't think this Su-85 is gonna make it out of there. It also gets heavy engine damage. The Stug on the right-hand side does end up dying. The Stug on the left is getting a lot of damage in on that Su-85. Manages to decrew it, however, it does not die. The Stug gaining its armored skirts, backs off out of there, and the Grens are pushing forward with their PTRS rifles, doing a lot of damage to this Su-76. Su-85 getting Fausted once again. PTRS rifles continue to fly. The Su-76 trying as much as he can to shoot them, but its main gun, it would be nice if it was just as effective as the Stug, but it is not. It's kind of a mediocre main gun. Its artillery barrage is where it excels. Su-85 backing off, still getting shot at by those PTRS rifles, taking a lot of damage. The combat engineers, sorry about that. Remember, we always stutter once. Su-76 and Su-85 just trying as much as they can to shoot at these Grens, but they're not designed against them. I mean, designed to be anti-infantry, and they just can't hit for shit. Su-85 on the left-hand side is still heavily damaged. We see the pack gun moving in that direction, so it will probably take a shot there to finish off that carcass, make sure that nobody picks it up once again. And on the left-hand side, we have a Gren squad for Helpinghans just capturing territory. The Helpinghans has 4 Grens, 3 Pyos, 2 MGs, and a pack gun. With the 3 Pyos, though, he should be able to repair his tanks very quickly. This Stug is already up to full strength. Su-85 carcass in the center does end up getting destroyed by the pack gun, more likely. And the conscripts are just getting riddled here by MG42s and LMGs. Molotov does fly on the Gren squad. The Gren squad just moves out of the way, only taking slight damage. And the conscript retreats down to 1 man, barely makes it out. Conscript squad at 3 also retreats, as it does not want to die. Su-76 and Su-85 are still damaged. Combat engineers moving in to get the repairs going. We see a Maxim machine gun called into the field for StoBez, so it looks like he's going to be trying to lock down the left-hand side territory whenever he can, because this Gren squad has captured everything. StoBez is essentially cornered into his a little 1/4 corner of the map. Su-85 getting a target weak pointed by the Stug. Moves in, gets some shots in on that Stug. Stug down to a sliver of health. Can the Su-85 finish him off? Yeah, he can. That Stug went a little bit too ballsy and ended up dying. But, well, Helpinghans still has a lot of infantry, which means he has map control. Down to 194 points for StoBez, 264 still left for Helpinghans. Maxim machine gun does force away that Grenadier squad as it, well, gets pinned down. And it'll work on recapturing the territory slowly but steadily. It looks like it's not even going to bother with this point right now. It's going to go straight for the point over here. And we see that Helpinghans has gone for the Jaeger armor doctrine and gets himself an elephant. Holy shit, that's an elephant. Wow. Well, there you go. Left-hand side. Maxim machine gun capturing that point as guard squad moves in to support. We see Pyos, Grens, and even the pack gun penetrating over into the enemy line. We do still have that Su-76. It's currently damaged, but it is... Ooh, nice shot there on the pack gun. The pack gun going to try to move itself out of the way, and only ends up getting itself killed. Very nice barrage there by that Su-76. Could be used with its main gun to destroy the pack gun. However, their Elephant is now on the field. Elephant is supreme in its range. It's actually looking at the Elephant. Oh my god, that was an amazing shot by the Elephant. One shots that Su-85, even though it was damaged, obviously, but Jesus. So no more Su-85s on the field for StoBez. He really has no counter there for that Elephant. The Elephant will beat anything on a head-on fight, so he needs to be able to get the surprise on him and flank him in a way, but well, he's not going to do that with Tier 4, that's for sure. He would have to build a lot of Su-85s, and he doesn't have any so far, and the fuel is barely enough to get one right now. In fact, did the Su-85 actually get changed in its cost? Let me see. We hear the MG42 stopping approaching infantry, forcing them away. Su-76 barrage going off. It is a veteran C3 Su-76 now. Very nice, but the barrage does not manage to hit the MG42. Su-85 manpower up to 340 and fuel 120. So yeah, it's 120 fuel for one Su-85. So he has enough for one, but not enough for two. And since it doesn't have a turret, an Su-85 is really not the optimal thing to be flanking a Elephant. Stolen Pack-On, however, might actually inflict a decent amount of damage. PTRS Rifle Grens push forward, get Molotov here by Conscript. The Conscripts continue to push forward. They're getting suppressed there by the MG42, forced to retreat. Grens moving in to support PTRS and LMGs. On the left-hand side, we see a Pio Squad cutting off the territory on the left-hand side as a lot of Grens just flood the field on the left-hand side. Even a Pio Squad recapturing a MG42. No, that's a Maxim machine gun, never mind. So the Maxim machine gun ended up dying. The Guard Squad going to try to clear it out. But on the right-hand side, the flank has fully fallen. And the SU-76 is moved over to the left-hand side as it cannot really hope to even stand a chance against an elephant. Guard Squad did not manage to stop the taking of the Maxim machine gun. Down to 2 men, forces a retreat. Combat Engineers recapturing some territory but retreating. Down to 108 points for StoBez. Still sitting at 264 for Helpinghans. StoBez did bleed Helpinghans quite significantly, but yeah, that elephant, I don't think there's anything he can do against that. Another Stug getting produced, just to have some support there for the elephant. Not a bad idea. Pack gun will also provide support, but you know, the elephant is a lumbering giant, and giants are particularly slow. Barrage goes off on the point there, but not actually doing anything, as the Grenadiers are a little bit to the right. Conscripts pushing forward. The SU-76 actually going very quickly across. It does have better NC3, which means fires with greater frequency and sight the main gun significantly quicker. Conscripts pushing away those Grens. The elephant deciding to shift its flank. We have S minefields laid down in the center. Helpinghans in a very dominant position. You can see where he has a lot of infantry that just breaks my overlays. That is 4 Grens, 3 Pios, 3 MG42s, and a pack gun. And the MG42s are just being used to lock down approaches. Elephant and Stug just opening up on the infantry. Conscripts are forced to retreat. The SU-76, whoa, barely makes it out of there. That elephant took a shot at it, but it stayed alive. It is turning its gun. Looks like it's still looking at it, but no. It barely makes it out of there. Jeez, that elephant is ridiculous. 1 infantry and 1 vehicle kill so far. And I don't actually think that StoBez can do anything. He's got 3 conscript squads, a guard squad, and 2 combat engineers. However, the combat engineers are going to be used here to repair this guy. And he has everything else back at base reinforcing. He is sending out a guard squad as minefield's getting laid down on the flanks. He's going to try to go for the victory point, but the victory point is being defended by MG42. So they're not going to be able to decap it. He's down to 13 points, currently triple capped, so yeah, I think that's it. He's probably going to make one last push here with all his infantry and the SU-76 barrage to try to clear out that MG42. Does actually manage to get a kill on one of those guys and forces it away. Elephant turns its sights in that direction, but down to 1 point, not going to be enough time, and that is game. Very nice. So StoBez loses, unfortunately, but Helpinghans gets himself a nice win there with the massive elephant. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.